Alright, so I know I've done this video maybe once. I think, yeah, definitely once, maybe twice. But I like coming back to it. Sometimes I just like coming back to videos because I like to add on to shit on occasion. And, yeah, as you can see, it's basically my idea for how I would do a Universal Studios / Islands of Adventure park, aka my favorite theme park. Don't at me at this. This is not a hill you want to die on. Yes, I like Universal more than Disney. No offense to them. Well, I got some offense to the mouse, but, like, I'm not gonna shit on people who say they like Disney more than Universal. Trust me, I got friends and family who are like that. Me, personally, I just prefer Universal. And it's not, it's not just because they have some of the best movies and some of the best monsters, and I'm totally not biased in that. No, it's not because they made the Universal monsters and, have some of the best rides in Orlando. No, it's not that at all. Okay. Anyway, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to basically talk about what I would put in a Universal Studios theme park as well as Islands of Adventure. If you don't know what Islands of Adventure is, for the 10-20% of you who've never been, Islands of Adventure was the second park, and it's literally right next door to Universal Studios. It's literally like you could do both parks. It's not like at Disney where they're all kind of spread out among themselves. Here it was like, here's Universal, here's Islands of Adventure. You can go to one, or you can pay a little extra to go to both. So we're going to talk about both parks and talk about what I would like to do if I could make my own park of Universal Studios and all of that. So yeah, let's dive right into it with starting off with Universal Studios. So my idea for a Universal Studios theme park would basically have a lot of the rides. I don't think I'd bring back a lot of classics, but rides I would definitely have are The Mummy. You gotta have The Mummy, but here's the thing. I would update The Mummy, not update as in put the Tom Cruise movie in there, but I would basically, since we've kind of jumped a little farther in technology for roller coasters, I would put more, make it a little longer, maybe some spins, kind of make it like a mixture of Rock and Roller Coaster from Hollywood Studios, from Disney Hollywood Studios. But yeah, I would have more, probably more animatronics as well, a little more animatronics, and really play with the themes of the ride, like really have some more horror elements. I would just absolutely love to do more stuff like that. Just absolutely. Just make it a little more scarier and a little more intense. Absolutely, 100%. So there you go. A little updated version of The Mummy. Would I bring back... I don't know if I bring back Confrontation, because making an animatronic that big is really expensive and really hard to upkeep. It was kind of one of the reasons why they replaced it with The Mummy over on Universal Studios Orlando. It was because, well, that and the Hollywood one was going to stay if the fire hadn't happened. But would I have the Peter Jackson Kong? Probably, because it's over on Skull Island: The Reign of Kong, or Kong Reign on Skull Island, whatever the hell you want to call it. Is basically, it's the Peter Jackson Kong because that's the one Universal owns, and essentially, it's a it's a ride that's over on Islands of Adventure, and it's specifically in the Jurassic Park area, which makes no sense to me because, like, it just kind of, it bothers me, like, it irks me in the theming. Like, yeah, you put it exactly where it needed to be in Islands of Adventure, but, like, at the same time, it's like, it's clashing with the theming, and it's bothering me! So I would put the Kong ride in Universal Studios. Like, I would give it its own little area. So I'd put the Kong ride in Universal Studios. And you may be thinking, well, why did they do that to begin with? Because there's only an X amount of space in the area. So, yeah. Anyway. So yeah, Kong would be over here and not in Islands of Adventure. I would also have, I think I'd have A.T., but I would give it a little more updated. Like, I'd update it just a little bit, and maybe some more screens, some tighter animatronics, like some a little more updated animatronics. Again, like, I know everyone's like, oh, it's the Small World equivalent of Universal rides. Yeah, it's also one of the classic ones, and is the one that's still standing out of all the classic rides. Because for those who don't know, it's actually been tried. Like Universal's tried multiple times to kill that ride, kill the ET ride, but Steven Spielberg has literally said, "If you ever tear down ET, I am done with you." So basically, Spielberg took his dick out and laid it on the table and said, "This is what's happening." Not literally, but like he took out his metaphorical dick. Like, I'm moving on. So there you go. So I would like to do an upgraded version of ET, put that in there. The Kids Zone. I would not have the Kids Zone. It is very outdated with Woody Woodpecker and stuff like that. I would actually update it with. There's been a lot of talk of Pokemon, but I would say maybe instead of Pokemon, rent out the to another company. I would keep it in Universal, and they do own DreamWorks, so I have a few ideas of who you could put in here. Maybe make it a Shrek themed area. Then again, more less kids would go there, and more of the meme hunters would go in there. That's the drawback. So maybe what you could do, and this is the more plausible idea I would do, is use the DreamWorks animation studios like Voltron, She-Ra, Kipo, all of those from Netflix, and put them there. That would be it would be a little fantasy zone, and have maybe a Voltron ride or a She-Ra experience or something like that. My friend Joel suggested maybe you could do a She-Ra show. That was kind of in the vein of the old Sinbad show over at Universal Studios when they had before Harry Potter took over the Lost Continent area, and that actually would be pretty cool. But I would also like a She-Ra ride. Kipo would be also a cool experience. So maybe for that could be the Kids Zone, where you can have meet and greets with Keith and Lance and Shiro, as well as She-Ra and Catra. That'd be a lot of fun. And that's more than the Shrek thing, because like I said, Shrek would probably bring in less kids and more meme hunters. Then again, bringing in Voltron and She-Ra would probably bring in a lot more 30-year-olds than kids. Not that that's a bad thing, but still, that's more in theme. She-Ra and Voltron. I know Voltron's kind of got some flack, and I'm not gonna sit here and defend it. I'm just saying that's a possibility you could put in there. But yeah. Plus, you could have, a meet and greet of, some of the villains. You could have, you could have Hordak before he was, after or before. You could switch in between. You could have Wrong Hordak. You could have Entrapta. That'd be fun. I'd wonder how they do, for the character, the animatronics for the hair. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, yeah, for the Kids Zone, no Woody Woodpecker, no Feifel, no Barney. It would be a straight up, DreamWorks animation characters. So there you go. As for other things, as for other rides, I think I'd keep a lot of them. I'd keep a lot of the new rides they have there. I'd probably keep Despicable Me. I would upgrade the Shrek 4D thing, and I'd probably have it change to How to Train Your Dragon, or something in the vein of at Disney Hollywood Studios, not Disney, Universal Studios Hollywood. They updated it to a Kung Fu Panda. The word got away from me. Yeah, to a Kung Fu Panda experience. So that's what I would change it out to. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. I think that I've got a good idea for the Universal Studios. I don't know if I'd have 8 Men in Black in there. I'd probably have it replaced with something else. No Fear Factor either. And I think I wouldn't have any Harry Potter stuff, but that's just me personally. I'm not if I'm just having fun here, and I'm not the biggest Harry Potter guy. So taking out the Harry Potter stuff. And this is coming from a guy who doesn't like a lot of Harry Potter, especially after what the author said. Yeah. But the rides are good. I've been on the rides, and they're damn, this is really fun. I wish I had more of the context, because I don't care about Harry Potter. If you like Harry Potter, that's totally fine. Me personally, I prefer a good lightsaber over a wand. Sorry. I just prefer the Force over magic. I'm more of a Star Wars guy, in case I'm not being subtle enough. Anyway. So, maybe I'd bring back Jaws. Maybe. Also, would I have the Simpsons ride? Well, since this is updated, the Simpsons are under Disney now. They're technically under Disney. So I would not have the Simpsons 40, the Disney ride. Simpsons ride. Ugh, I'm tongue-tied. So yeah, I wouldn't have the Simpsons here. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know. Could you bring back Back to the Future? It'd be outdated by now. And you're probably thinking, oh, what about SpongeBob? SpongeBob's technically not under Universal. They're under Paramount. They just get licensed because Paramount just licenses SpongeBob out the wazoo. And that's the first time I ever used out the wazoo, maybe the last. So, I don't know, like, it would be, you do need that kind of ride, so maybe something like, because Universal does have the Hanna-Barbera characters to an extent. That's a tough one. Actually, maybe in the Kids Zone, the 4D ride that can replace Back to the Future and The Simpsons can be the Voltron ride. There you go! Basically, the Voltron ride would be that kind of simulator in the big room. That big room simulator. There you go! That would be a reason for people to go into that area. There you go. Problem solved. Anyway, so let's move on. So I think I've talked enough about Universal Studios. Let's move on now to Islands of... Sorry, I just got a text. There's now... what was I going to say? Let's move on now to Islands of Adventure. So Islands of Adventure is basically... It's set up... Islands of Adventure is also, in case anyone said, oh, he's wearing underwear. No, it's sweatpants. I'm that kind of lazy. Anyway, so, Islands of Adventure, the initial idea for Islands of Adventure was lands based off of books. Well, originally it was meant to be cartoons. Like, each area was going to be like a cartoon or whatever. But then it got based off of books, or stories. And you may be thinking, oh, but what about, but freaking Jurassic Park is a movie. No, it was originally a book, so it counts. That's how Universal, like, justified it. It's like, oh, no, it's based off a book. It's there. Anyway, so, what I would like to change about it is, I do think that there would be some much needed updating, especially like Toon Lagoon. That place needs some serious updating. And I would also, since we can't use Marvel, we cannot use Marvel because of Disney. So we can't use a Marvel land again, and we're not going to have a Harry Potter land. So that gives us basically 3 areas. Now, I would keep Jurassic Park. I would keep Dr. Seuss, because you need that kids area. And also, I love Dr. Seuss. Shut up. And I would keep... Yeah, I said Jurassic Park. So the other one, Lost Continent I don't think I'd bring back. So that gives us 3 islands to really play like. Like, what could we really play with these islands? So the first one to replace the Marvel Studios land would be something that's coming to Epic Universe. And that is a Universal Monster area. So a straight-up Universal Monster area. And this would be like Fright Nights 24/7. Like, you'd really... Like, there'd be a sign going into this area going, if you have a weak constitution, don't bring your kids here. They're gonna get scared. Or if you're a total bitch, turn around now. Like, I would have scare actors out there in like close corners and whatnot. I would also really like to have like a cool 4D roller coaster ride. Again, like something like intense, like the Mummy ride. I would also love to have a maybe a stage show, because there is, like, every year at Halloween Horror Nights called Villains Academy, which is a really kick-ass stage show, and that would be like all year round. Like, I'd love to have that as the stage show, and maybe have it with Beetlejuice as the host, because I miss Beetlejuice Graveyard Review. Just saying. I'm not bringing Fast and Furious to this park, by the way. That ride can go fuck itself. That Fast and Furious ride can go fucking fast and fuck off. I had a better joke there, but it got away from me. Anyway, so Universal Monsterland would be a lot of fun. Maybe bring back a version of the Dungeon of Terror too. Like the Dungeon of Terror was like a year-round haunted house over at Universal Studios Hollywood that got torn down in the past. So I think it'd be kind of cool to bring that here. So there you go, Universal Monsterland to replace the Marvel Land. As for the other ones, Toon Lagoon would be upgraded with Nickelodeon characters. I know, yeah, Paramount owns Nickelodeon, but they're very lousy. They are lousy about giving out the rights to everybody. And Universal could, in theory, be like, "Hey, you want to do another thing with us?" And there's a chance they could. That's very possible that they could make a whole land instead of Toon Lagoon, because literally outside of Popeye, who the fuck does anyone know about Dudley Do-Right? And that would be my other thing. I would have a version of the Dudley Do-Right ride, the log flume ride, but it would probably be like SpongeBob or the Loud House. Like maybe you could do it like you could have like the Loud House characters in like going on vacation, and it like that would be kind of fun. Like have them running around at like maybe like some kind of mill, like log flume mill, and Lily, the baby gets loose, and they're all trying to like find the baby and avoid danger along the way. Something like that. I don't know right off the top of my head. Or maybe a SpongeBob ride. Actually, the SpongeBob ride could probably replace the Bluto's raft ride. Just have it be like a SpongeBob cruise or something. I don't fucking know. So, if we're not going to do Harry Potter, also going back to that, if we're not going to do Harry Potter, this could also be, if you didn't do the Kid Zone with the DreamWorks characters, I would say replace it with here. So maybe a She-Ra land, or a Kipo, or Voltron, or I think they're also, here's what I'd really do now that I think about it. The Troll Hunters. Yeah, Troll Hunters, or How to Train Your Dragon. One of those two. Troll Hunters or How to Train Your Dragon. Either of those lands could probably replace those. You could do some cool rides and roller coasters with that. So, that... Sorry, I'm just getting fucking mail bombed today. What the fuck? Anyway. So, there you go. That is basically what I'd like to do with a Universal Studios / Islands of Adventure theme park. Well, theme parks, but yeah. Like I said, I just enjoy doing these like ride ideas, because it's like, yeah, what would it be like if you could actually have the keys to the kingdom and do something cool? So I thought it would be kind of fun to really play with like a lot of the ride theming, and really play with what Universal has in their repertoire. So I'd really like to play with that. And maybe I've forgotten some, and maybe, you guys will probably come up with something better for each of the lands and maybe rides. I know I left out the Nintendo ride, but and even though, yes, I did mention Nickelodeon, but I wanted to keep it very, like, strictly Universal. But Universal, like, as much as they have like a huge repertoire of things, there is a lot of rides they've taken from other studios. Case in point, the Transformers ride, Transformers, those live action movies, are under Paramount. So it's not like they've worked together before, so I was going to give some leeway on that. And I really wanted to have some originality as much as I could. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this version of Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure? And what would you do with your version of the park? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.